need sugar, salt, and pepper.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Sugar, salt, and pepper.
Hi everybody, I'm Jill.
I'm James.
And welcome to our wedding! This video is for you to find out a little bit more about us, even if you are longtime friends as well. And we're going to be cooking some bolognese pasta, one of our favorite recipes. So hopefully you'll learn with us as well. I was on dating apps for a total of 5 days. And that's where I met James's friend, Gary. Shout out to Gary.
Shout out Gary.
Yeah, if he is seated there, then thanks for coming all the way from Australia. So I met Gary on an app called Coffee Meets Bagel, and we started chatting, we became friends. Then on my 19th birthday, I invited Gary to bring all of his friends to a table that I was opening at F Club. And in that mix of friends was James.
Yeah, so like what Jin said, we first met at F Club. Then she followed me on IG first, and then I got her number. Then we texted a bit on WhatsApp, and then we hung out for a few months. But we were purely just, not boyfriend girlfriend yet, right? We were just chilling. So I was posted back to Tekong, right, in the army. And then I remember I was checking back into Tekong for 2 weeks. Then on the ferry back to Tekong, she texted me and asked, like, she just dropped the bomb, like, so are we dating? What's our status? Then I was like, talk about poor timing. Because I was going to go back to Tekong for like 1.5 weeks, and then I was going to go to Australia for like another week. So we wouldn't be seeing each other for like 2.5 weeks. So basically for the next 2.5 weeks, I was just like counting down till we could meet each other again, right? Counting down till I could book out, counting down till I came back from Australia, right? So you really distracted me my entire Australia trip.
And you were with your family.
Yeah. Then we came back, and then we met, talked a bit more. I popped the question, asked her whether we could, be official. She said yes, and here we are. Yeah, so my first impression of Jin was that she's really artistic.
I am.
She can sing really well, draw really well, trilingual. And back then she was doing an internship for TSL before uni even started. So, back then it was like really revolutionary stuff, because now internships are like all the norm, but back then, internship before uni, try hard.
Really? Try hard.
But impressive, very impressive.
Very common. My first impression of this.
Why you laugh?
No, this is the real first impression.
Okay.
I thought he was a bad boy. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, like playing around with girls and everything. It could be because we were clubbing like every other weekend.
What does that say about you?
But disclaimer to our parents, we were very responsible party people. And now we don't even enjoy partying, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, I thought he was a very bad boy. Turns out he's a fluffy good boy.
Oh, he's fluffy.
So when we were chatting early in our dating year, James said that he once wrote free tinkle as his religion under this form that you had to submit.
It was for scouts.
Yeah, for scouts. He thought free thinker was a free tinkle. So for the longest time, James thought he was a free tinkle.
Hey, I was primary 3.
Yeah, but
No one told me.
a little tinkle.
No one told me. Ever since COVID started, she's been a bit of a germaphobe. So she wash her hands, right, always with soap.
Yeah.
And then the water gets on the sink edge. Then she used a rag to dry the sink edge. And then afterwards she will smell her hand and she's like, wow, got a rag smell. Then she wash her hands again with soap. Then the sink will come out water again. Then she used just her fingertips to touch the rag to dry. And then she will toot the water. Then she'll dry the rags. The whole thing takes like a good 1 minute just to wash her hands.
Germs are everywhere. Yeah.
Yes. Right, so when we first met, I was still in army. We both haven't started uni yet. So we were still very young, still very playful, didn't really know what we wanted in life. after uni, we both started working. Both started having more serious discussions about settling down, kids, wedding, pets. Like when we first started, we were both very young and playful and in love. And then we grew older to learn more about life together and like do life together.
I would say that our relationship is like a turbulence-free flight. It's just like the smoothest sailing flight ever, or like a cruise ship on the calmest sea. Because you're always so calm and you make me feel at peace, and there's like no other person who can make me feel as at peace as you. I think one of my most special memories that we have is that night when we went to Ultra. And after Ultra, I told you like, oh, like I'm gonna walk back home. It's like, I can walk. Yeah, and you said, okay, like I'll walk you back as well. And you had no clue that you were in for a 7 or 8 kilometer walk back with me. Yeah, then I have another one when I was in Boston. And I was feeling very homesick. Then you sent me a whole box of letters and gifts from my friends back home. There was like 24 letters from 24 of my closest friends, and that really brightened up my birthday in Boston.
But every time we're overseas together, it feels different because I think like the feeling I get is like it's two of us in a foreign land, right? We don't know anyone there. I think that's why whenever we're overseas, those memories are the fondest for me. And it's the small things that we do overseas, right? It's not visiting any particular landmark, but for me, it's more of on the way there, whenever we're on a tram, just looking out, Googling random restaurants to eat at.
Yeah, so we were on a trip to Amsterdam. And there's this one day that we decided to go to this place called Zanskans.
Zanskans.
Yeah, Zanskans. But that day was particularly cloudy, so I suggested to James, oh, you know what, if the weather isn't looking good, like we can skip Zanskans. And for some reason, he was so like disappointed that we weren't able to go to Zanskans. There was this watchtower at Zanskans that was empty, so we decided to head on upstairs. Then we started taking photos at the top of the watchtower. And James was, we were taking photos like this, and he was like, oh, let me change the camera settings to 0.5x. And at that moment, I was thinking, oh, James is so passionate about taking photos for us on this trip, And I didn't realize that he had actually changed the camera settings to video instead. And he came towards the camera, and I was still posing for the photos. Then he got down on one knee.
Bend the knee.
Yeah, bend the knee. And I was like, oh, no way. And I remember the first thing I said when he got down on one knee, because I was in such disbelief, was, no. Before you
What do you mean no?
Before you even popped the question, I was like, no. I think the nicest thing about the proposal wasn't the act of the proposal itself, but after it happened, I asked James, oh, like, how did you do all this behind my back? What happened? How long have you been preparing this for? And he told me before our trip, he had actually pulled my mom aside one day when he was at my house, and he took out a little note that was written in Korean with like the translation below. So he read out this letter to my mom to ask for like her permission. Like, at least you had the courage to write down the letter and pull my mom aside and actually ask for my hand in marriage. So that was very sweet.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Oma.
Thanks, Oma.
Right, so in the lead up to the proposal, I enlisted her friends, particularly Jesslyn, to help me get her ring size. I got her ring on the down low, right? The shop that I got it was actually less than a kilometer away from her place. Right, so every time I'm going to get a ring, I was like super scared I will bump into her. I asked my friends that have been to Europe where they think I should do it, and the two people that have been to Amsterdam both suggested Zanskans, which was a windmill farm, right? So I kind of took it as God's sign that I got to do it at Zanskans.
When beginnings end, and when
Right, so Evie, I want you to know how much I appreciate you. I don't think I say it enough. I want you to know that every happy moment in my life in the past 7.5 years have you in them, and I think it's only going to be the way moving forward. I want you to know that in our next chapter of life together, I promise to always put you first, and you'll always be my number one priority. Right, so here's to a lifetime of happiness.
It couldn't have been anyone else, and it can't be anyone else. I feel so incredibly lucky and blessed that out of all the people in this world, God saw you and me and thought, hey, this makes a pretty good couple. So thanks, Big G. This marriage was just the easiest decision I ever had to make in my life, and I feel so confident that we will power through the rest of our lives together with laughter, love, and mutual respect. I hope that we continue to make each other laugh until our stomachs cramp. I hope that in our lowest points, we'll have each other to hold on to. I hope that we'll build a family, children we can raise in a warm, loving environment. And I hope that our kids will look at us and know that this is what love should be like. And P.S., I hope we will get a dog too, but I could settle for a cat since that's what you want more.